All right, what's up, family? So the feds is trying to get Lil Durk locked up any way possible, doing any nasty trick they could pull out. You know what? But that's just how they get down. Let's go ahead and get into the video. 1090 Jake for the break it down.
Feds are playing a dirty game in the Lil Durk case. They are alleging they found dirt in Durk's phone and that they got the phone because of a situation where Durk was the shooter and the victim at the same time. You want to make hundreds of mixtapes, new documents.
Now, I ain't gonna lie though. How y'all feel about that one? Because in our last video, they got his phone. And y'all, somebody let me know in the comments. Are the feds allowed? Were the feds actually allowed to go through his phone? Did they have permission to go through his phone? That was kind of confusion to me. So y'all let me know in the comments.
Claim Lil Durk's seized phone contained messages asking for Lil Tim's address, a 2021 Quando Rondo show poster, and a 2023 social media post claiming Rondo was shot.
God!
According to court documents, the government
responded
to Lil.
Hey, Durk was not. I ain't gonna lie, folks. So for everybody who was saying Durk was not sliding, Durk was sliding, and he was tripping. I ain't glorifying this shit, but he was tripping. But man, they found all that in his phone.
Durk's motion to suppress the phone. So let's break down what that means right there. Lil Durk's lawyers are trying to suppress whatever the feds got out of the phone, saying that they got the phone illegally. They shouldn't have even had the right to go through.
That's my question.
The government.
That's my whole question.
No, we had every right to go in it, and this is what we found. And they're saying that.
So what gave them the right to go through it? What?
Because Durk admitted to firing his gun. That alone gave police probable cause to think he committed reckless conduct under Georgia law. Personally, I don't know what the fuck that has to do with the phone, but the shooting.
It don't got nothing to do with it.
Is the July.
Time out. So hold on. Pause. So that shooting was considered reckless endangerment when he was protecting his life. So if somebody breaks in your house, it's considered reckless endangerment if you shoot back at them and they're actively shooting at you. I just want to make sure like I heard that right. And if I'm not hearing that right, let me know, but that don't make sense to me.
2021 home invasion at Durk's crib. It says Lil Durk got a rude awakening when some people busted into his home and exchanged gunfire with him and his girlfriend. This is according to law enforcement. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation stated the rapper and his girlfriend, India Cox, were the victims of a home invasion and aggravated assault a little after 5 a.m.
They say the victims.
Tells us several unidentified individuals entered Durk's home in the Chateau Ellen neighborhood of Brazelton, an hour outside of Atlanta, and a shootout ensued. The GBI say Durk and India discharged their firearms, but they were not injured during the incident. It's unclear exactly how many people allegedly entered the home, but cops are asking for tips from the public in the case as part of the investigation. So both Durk and his girl went to dumping, as they should, right? But the feds are alleging this was the reason they were able to take his phone and go through it. And within that phone, the feds are saying they found screenshots of messages discussing Timothy Leaks, aka.
Well, hold on. In that video, Durk said India shot the gun. I know he said he had the gun. Did Durk admit to shooting the gun in that video? I know India said she shot, and I don't necessarily remember Durk saying he admitted to shooting the gun. I know he said he took the gun because it was his security guard left it there. He took the gun and put it somewhere or threw it somewhere, but I don't remember him saying he shot it. But I could be wrong, though. But I don't remember him saying he shot that gun.
Hey, Lil Tim, the killer of King Von, being released on bond and requesting the address of his residence while under house arrest. Now that right there, right? If you've paid attention to some of the cases that I've covered, Queso specifically from Jacksonville, he got convicted. He's got a life sentence. They went on the Duval Clerk website. Duval is the county of Jacksonville. They went on the website and were able to look up their ops information. And within his case file, they found his address. So this is the thing about Florida law. Anytime you get a ticket, anytime you catch a case, anytime you anything, your address gets posted to a public website in which anybody can look it up. So they looked up his address, went to his crib, stalked him all the way to a job interview, and when they came
which
out,
is crazy.
Queso chased him down with an ARP and knocked his fucking face off. That's why he's got a life sentence. And it's like, I don't know why no one's thought of like, hey, maybe we should.
So I don't even know why the feds even put their address on there like that, knowing damn well if they on probation or house arrest or whatever. Why would you even put these people's address for public information? You know what I'm saying? When everybody know what's going on in the streets. That don't make any sense to me. But the feds gonna do whatever they do, and we gotta make it make sense. And if y'all made it this far in the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for supporting me, family.
And post their address. If we're gonna publicize they're on house arrest and they're not allowed to leave and they're not allowed to possess guns and they're not allowed
that's
to
my whole
themselves,
exactly.
Maybe we shouldn't post their addresses.
I mean, that's common sense. So I'm happy 1090J peeped that as well, because I'm like, why they keep posting it if they know the city's a war zone right now or they involved in a war? Why would you even? You know what I'm saying?
But whatever. The feds are alleging, Durk knew Lil Tim got released on bond and he was trying to get that addy. A screenshot of a 2021 concert poster would advertise a performance of Quando Rondo, and a screenshot of a social media post dated May 3rd, 2023 documented that Quando Rondo had been shot. So this Durk was tracking any performances Quando was allegedly trying to book so that they could pop up to the show. And
now, y'all remember when Quando first was trying to book, man, a lot of his bookings got canceled. A few of them. And I remember Quando trying to go on live talking about, oh, man, we ain't scared. We trying to do it. The promoters is shutting it down. And if that's true, then the promoters had great instinct, because Durk and them was on ass. As we see, the feds is telling y'all, what it is. They on ass. And I think that this is if they use this phone, if they can't suppress this phone, they're gonna have a lot more evidence, because this phone seemed like it got a lot more evidence. You got evidence of him stalking, evidence of him having Quando Rondo being shot. He got evidence of him trying to see. It's really I think that's why they're going for that stalking charge. If we watched our other video, they kept talking about stalking, and it's making more and more sense. When they went through that phone, they seen how much he was stalking Quando and how much he was actually, went into how much time he put into trying to figure out his move and get this man unalive. So I think when the feds seen that, that's a legit problem. Durk team does have it on his hands, and they were trying to throw this on last minute, but that's why the judge wouldn't let him throw it on last minute. Judge like, you're gonna have to break this down each case at a time, and we're gonna see how it goes. But Durk is not looking good right now.
And they're also saying that Durk had a screenshot of Quando being shot. And if y'all remember, Quando Rondo got shot at after his very first show since the killing of King Von. There was video of him pulling up with a ton of security, this and that, whatever.
Facts.
They ended up pulling up to either a gas station. Shots went off. Somebody got hit in the hand. Quando wasn't hit. Quando didn't stay at the scene either. But this shit was going down. He was coming out with lyrics talking about popping out at his shows, whatever. And the very first show Quando performed at, he got shot at right after. Now, jumping into the comments, 187 Chris would say, it seems like he was just concerned about their well-being. That's all I'm getting from this. Facts. Under that, it don't matter, laugh my ass off. The phone was taken when Durk was a victim. It was never supposed to be searched. I agree with that. I don't understand how he was engaging in reckless conduct. If people
Durk was bullshitting.
House was reckless about shooting at them, especially in a stand your ground.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't understand that one either. How is it reckless when somebody broke in my house? The Fed, and this is making me realize, all this is honestly making me realize is the feds is gonna do what they want to do. They're gonna do and say what they want to do. For all we know, now it more so sound like they sent somebody in Lil Durk house so he could shoot back and they could have a reason to go through his phone, because it don't make any sense. It don't make any sense to me. That's stupid. Now, don't get me wrong. Lil Durk, y'all, don't follow Lil Durk's example. Lil Durk dead wrong. You out here killing people, stalking people, especially when King Von was dead wrong in that situation. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, y'all was doing it wrong, bro, at the end of the day. So don't the feds gonna play the game they want to play. Is it right? No. But this the game you let them, this the game you put yourself in when you in the streets. When you in the streets and you want to do street shit and you want to bend like some, you know damn well you don't gotta do something, but you letting peer pressure or people around you convince you to do something that's retarded, you end up in this situation here. You know what I'm saying? And no, never in a million years does Durk want to spend the rest of his life in jail. He don't. He could smile. He could put the front on all day long. There's nobody on this planet, unless you just love being around men, and we know what that means. If you just love being around men, you don't want to spend the rest of your life in jail, gang. So this type of shit right here, this shit ain't worth it, bro. Never, ever.
State like Georgia, I don't see how that works. Someone said it's illegal to screenshot things now. Someone else said this dude is absolutely cooked. Now, quick shout out to Durk All Day on Twitter. He is posting all the paperwork in this case. I mean, literally everything, and he's got the new shit. So this is the government's opposition to Durk's motion to suppress fruits of unlawfully seized and searched telephone. This comes down to whatever the fruit of the poisonous tree, right? My lawyer tried to use this in my case. When I got arrested, I was on the phone and they were investigating me because they said we tried to break into a car, which never happened. And when they searched me, they found a gun. I was charged with breaking into the car, but the charges were dropped. And because of the charges being dropped and there never being an actual crime committed, therefore, under the fruit of the poisonous tree, I was supposed to never be searched and the gun should have never been found. And that gun is what linked me to the armed burglary of 15 other guns. So my public pretender came up with this great idea that we're gonna do this in the fruit of the poisonous tree. Anyways, didn't happen. I got sentenced to prison. So let's continue. Following a shootout at Banks's home in July of 2021, where law enforcement seized multiple guns and 11 cartridge casings, 6 of which were found near a balcony where Durk admitted to firing his gun into the air, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, searched Durk's house in pursuit to a search warrant. During the search, investigators seized multiple guns and boxes of ammunition, spent shell casings, and Durk's cell phone to aid their investigation into the gunfight, among other items. While Durk's phone was seized pursuant to the initial warrant, the GBI did not search the phone until it obtained a subsequent warrant that authorized
they seized his ammo?
the seizure of data related to multiple crimes, including felon in possession of firearms. Based on the second warrant, the GBI created the forensic extraction of the device, which they maintained in their possession pursuant to the express terms of the Georgia phone warrant. After the grand jury returned additional charges against Durk in this case, including VICAR murder, the government obtained a copy of the forensic extraction. Within days, a federal magistrate judge in Los Angeles authorized a warrant to search the forensic extraction for evidence related to this case. Material evidence was found on the device, including text messages about locating TB, which is obviously Quando Rondo, Taekwon Bowman, and TB's associate TL, Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, the individual who shot Davon Bennett, aka King Von. Now, Durk would attempt to suppress the evidence, raising numerous legal issues in an attempt to justify suppressing the incriminating evidence found on the device. However, the motion boils down to 3 narrow issues: whether state investigators lawfully seized the defendant's phone, whether the temporary detention of the defendant's phone until state investigators obtained a warrant, and whether these facts, Georgia investigators' good faith conduct seizing the phone while investigating a shootout and then obtaining a second warrant to search the phone, coupled with the attenuation between a wholly separate federal investigation years later, the drastic remedy of exclusion of the highly relevant evidence is warranted. I feel like I just said a whole bunch of legal shit, half of which I don't understand. But basically,
swear to God,
what they're trying to say is, did the state have the legal right to go through that phone? Was it legally possessed?
That was my whole question. Shit, that was my question. Damn, that is the underlying question. Was that allowed? Could they take the phone and go through it? Is that legal? If that's legal, then shit, it is what it is. But if that's illegal, then I don't think that evidence should be used against them.
When the search warrant was, secured, did they have the right to have it? And did the feds have the right to swoop in 5 years later to get access to what the state recovered back then? Is that legal? Are they able to do that? Because that sounds kind of crazy. The feds take your phone for whatever the state takes your phone for whatever reason. Then 5 years later, the feds are like, yeah, we want that. Now it states while all three issues should be resolved in the government's favor, the court can.
But don't forget this: when you in the streets and you want to stalk people and you want to kill people and you want to do everything that you know you shouldn't be doing, this is what comes with that. You do get things dropped on you. You do get an invasion of privacy because you don't have any more privacy. So now they're going through your phone and they're using it. And they're using just bringing shit up from all different angles. And this is what happens. This will come with that shit. So the best thing that you could do is honestly leave the street shit alone and just say fuck the streets, because this is the end goal. This is what happens.
The motion based on any.
Durk got all the money in the world.
Georgia home warrant authorized the seizure of defendant Durk's phone. All parties agree the Georgia house warrant authorized state law enforcement to lawfully enter and search his house. Based on the plain language of the warrant, it authorized the seizure of Durk's phone because the affidavit established probable cause that Durk, who claimed he fired a gun multiple times in the air in a residential neighborhood, was a suspected perpetrator of at least reckless conduct. That right there. Even though Durk, being a felon, wasn't charged with felon in possession of a firearm, he wasn't charged with reckless conduct, to my knowledge. Because of how this happened, they were able to secure a warrant and go into his phone. Unfortunately, that sounds like they were lawfully able to get it and obtain it.
But that don't sound like, it's just like the biggest coincidence in the world. So I guess it was legal. You know what I'm saying? So if they could legally get this information, then it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of information. They're going to get him with stalking, and stalking holds at least 20 to 25 years. So that's the rest of Lil Durk's career. So that's crazy. And it's crazy how that works, but bro, you just got to stay out the streets. You got to stay out the streets. You know what I'm saying?
One state on extraction, for y'all that don't know, it doesn't matter if I take a picture right now and delete it, and it's permanently deleted, and then I delete it from the box of deleted shit too. If they do a cell phone extraction on my phone, they can still get that picture. Yeah. Nothing's ever fully deleted. So once that information has been obtained and put on a USB drive, the feds, it sounds like the feds can come in at any point they want. Hey, y'all still got that USB drive? Yeah, let me get that. We're actually looking into shit that happened. We want to see his phone. Oh, we actually have shit on the phone? Okay, perfect. We're going to use this. Yeah. To be honest, it sounds like the feds can actually do this. It's a dirty game, but it's a legal game. Second, the Georgia investigators learned additional information before the seizure of the defendant's phone that independently justified a temporary detention of the phone to preserve evidence while investigators sought and obtained a warrant to search the phone. Indeed, before investigators seized the phone, they learned that Durk was a twice convicted felon when he possessed and fired his weapon, and that the defendant was a suspected member of the Black Disciples gang. Given those facts and defendant's conduct set forth in the affidavit, investigators had a good faith basis to seize the phone to investigate the gunfight, including determining the identity of the shooters and motive. Investigators subsequently obtained a warrant to search the phone, which is based on ample probable cause. Now, the reason people like watching me is
so they got a warrant based on probable cause, and they went through the phone. They got information on the shooters. They got information on everything, stalking. They got information on names. They went to work. They went to work once they got that warrant. Man, bro, that's crazy.
Because not only am I good at doing research,
Lil Durk ass ain't coming home, bro.
These things.
I want him to,
but
but
I've
he's not,
also
man.
lived through experiences in which I'm able to relate and break things down to y'all that might not have. So, back when I got investigated, I think it was in 2016 for an armed robbery and chasing somebody with a gun. They said I was communicating with the person through a phone, whatever, right? When I got booked, they took my phone, right? My phone was placed into evidence. Not only that, I got booked on, I believe, a Sunday, released on a Monday.
Yeah.
Friday is when they came and they got a search warrant for my crib. They raided my crib, right?
Yeah, see,
now, obviously, because they took my first phone that Sunday, I got out that Monday, I went and bought a new phone. And that Friday, they took the new phone too. They took every piece of technology in that house. They even took my ex's laptop at the time that she used for school. They took everything because they wanted to find the piece of technology that I was allegedly communicating with the victim through. And they didn't end up actually figuring out any fucking thing. But that's the type of shit that they do when they're investigating a crime. They're going to take everything. They're going to do extractions on everything. They're going to look through everything to try to find the piece of information they're looking for. Now, in the midst of them doing that, if they found pictures of me with a gun or the gun that they said I allegedly used, that would become part of their investigation. And then they're going to be like, oh, boom, 1090 Jake is a convicted felon. We just found a picture of him with a gun. We're going to hit him with this charge on top of the robbery we're investigating. That's just how they put this shit together. Now, finally, the facts before the court simply do not warrant the drastic and extreme
that's real shit, though.
Of...
He ain't lied, though. That's real shit. When they start coming after you, they start going through your phone, and they start doing all that shit, bro. Like, you can't delete what's in that phone. You know what I'm saying? And if you did some dumbass shit in that phone and they get their hands on it, man, that's a wrap. You know, I ain't even gonna hold you.
Georgia investigators acted in good faith, obtaining multiple warrants to seize and search the defendant's phone to investigate a shootout that occurred in a residential neighborhood. Likewise, the federal prosecution team diligently obtained a federal search warrant days after receiving the digital extraction of defendant's phone from the GBI. Because the FBI was not involved in the seizure of the phone from the bank's residence, nor did it possess the extraction of the physical phone at any point prior to July 2026, suppression and exclusion is not justified here. Now keep in mind, again, this document is written by the feds. This is the feds responding to Durk's lawyers to throw this out. So if it seems one-sided and biased, it's because it's written by the feds. They're trying to be like, yo, there's no reason to throw this out. Don't throw this out. We need this shit. Don't throw it out. Now, the rest of these documents, like, they would interview one of the special agents from the GBI who was a part of the investigation, and she would state everything they learned, and they would just repeat the same shit. We heard about a shooting. We showed up. No one was there. We swept the home. We found weapons. We found evidence. We found shell casings. We found out it was Lil Durk. Lil Durk and India both admitted to shooting guns. Whatever. A crime took place. Durk never got charged with any of the bullshit. But then again, it comes down to they were able to get his phone because they were trying to investigate him for shooting in his house in defense.
But then again, I see, that's what I'm saying. I guess Durk did say that he shot. I guess he did. I don't remember him saying that, but I guess he did say he shot, and that's what happened. So I thought they said India shot and he took the gun somewhere, but maybe I was wrong. I'm wrong. I gotta be wrong because as we see here, they only got allowed to go through the phone through probable cause, and they got probable cause because she was shooting in his house defending himself. Doesn't that sound like a setup though? Like that's why I ain't heard that before, but as the case breaks out, that just sounds like one big ass setup. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the feds try to set that up, but the feds can do what they want. So if it was a setup, we'll probably never know, and it is what it is. Or you know, some nigga from Chicago or whatever the case may be could have somehow made his way to Durk's $1 million mansion and broke their way in there and tried that. That's actually possible. I'm not gonna lie to you. If they get Lil Durk drop or low, that's actually possible. But I just, you know, I couldn't imagine too many people knowing where he actually live at. But you know, when you famous, things can get disclosed pretty easy. I guess. But anyway, man, y'all let me know how y'all feel about this one, man. This one's kind of crazy. Y'all think Durk gonna have a chance of coming home, or do you think the feds is gonna keep trying to trap him any way they can? It looks like he might go down for stalking more than anything, honestly. But y'all let me know y'all opinion in the comments. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button or that like button. We're on the road to 1,000. See you next time.